Hey, I mean, you might as well. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Scene time, views and dues, live on Sunday morning. Everybody get your coffee, get your mimosas, get all those things that you need in order for you to be able to function during our live pregame show here. Again, this is Views from the 22. Views and dues. We are here. We got M drop the J. Fadeaways, always perfect. We got Mr. Lab Extraordinaire himself, the scout, the man in the building, Vic Jr. And then, of course, you got your boy, Germ So True, Mr. Pun, Mr. True Man, False World, reporting live from the scene. Let's go. Fellas, how we doing this morning?
Man, I'm doing great, man. It's raining like a motherfucker outside. So Mo is not here, so let's just go ahead and get the particulars out the way because I'm about to act a fool in this place. Mo, we see you. Got love for you. We're going to hold this show down for you. But you already know if content is king, you are looking at royalty. You just pulled up to the scene, so we got to give you what you need. Monkey Knife Fights is who's sponsoring us, man. Go ahead, join Monkey Knife Fights. Tell them the scene sent you. Put the scene in that promo code. You can go ahead and get some of this over and under action and get paid like I'm getting everybody else paid. Why not get this money while you're watching the game? And it's a little bit more fun with something that's on the line. So with that being said, we got the over-unders for you as far as the team goes. We got some fantasy players you might want to look into. But I'm going to swing this over to Vic. Vic, talk to the people.
Yeah, man, over here in the Northeast, it's just getting cold, man. It ain't raining, it ain't snowing yet. But the air is just chilled. Right now it's in chill mode, and it's not my favorite time of the year. But yeah, man, looking forward to this week as well. It's just been such an intriguing, such a fun season so far. Thank God for that. No, not really, any crazy NFL immaturity news besides the Deshaun Watson stuff. And, it's so far it's been a great season.
So this morning, when I got up, I said myself said, we said, well, what are we gonna do today to have a little bit of fun with the situation that we have here? Because we got some games this week that may not be big games, but they're pretty evenly matched teams. So we're gonna discuss that. But real quick, we're gonna start with the heartbeat of the show as we always do. And let's have a quick little piece of banter, as they call it, the piece of banter. So with that being said, we seen on Thursday a situation where we seen a running back undrafted from the Cleveland Browns who pretty much showed out on Thursday night against the Broncos. Right. With that being said, with Kareem Hunt being down, with Nick Chubb being down, I was posed a question by one of our own, Mr. Lester Stewart. He said, is this the reason why running backs are not valued as heavy in the NFL? And my reply to him was, Les, that is a very big part of it. Now, then we're going to transition and fast forward, and we got a game today where we got Derrick Henry involved in this game, so y'all already know. But it's against one of the worst defenses in football, the Kansas City Chiefs. And Mo made a statement a couple of weeks ago, and Vic reiterated it a couple of weeks ago, that Derrick Henry is the most important player on offense that is not a quarterback. So I want to quickly talk about elite traits for the running back position, Vic, because we got to put this into some tiers. Because I look at guys like Derrick Henry after seeing his improvement. Obviously, he's a tier 1 running back, and tier 1 running back means you do everything great or majority of everything great. When we talk about great vision, ball carrier vision is the most important part of the position. So, Vic, let's explain ball carrier vision. I'm going to let you explain it because you're the scout extraordinaire. And you're also a running back by trade as well. So we know what we see. And so go ahead and let's get
it. I mean, it also has a lot to do with the scheme, with the running scheme. So you have the outside zones, the inside zones, as well as the gap schemes. The gap schemes are designed for a lot of times for running backs that love to run downhill. They basically just they want to get the handoff and they basically just want to react, right? You give them a hole that they're supposed to attack, blockers they're supposed to follow, and they go in and they do their thing. Then you have the zone concepts where you have to think a little bit more. Read the line, the outside man and the line of scrimmage, see what kind of pressure he has on the tight end or the tackle, and then you have to, the different lanes you have to cut in between. There's a little bit more thinking. So, teams will draft the running backs according to what their scheme is. And then obviously, if you look at the running back position, it's a lot more reaction than thinking, in most of the situations, right? So yes, you do got to think for the inside zone, but your reaction, your quickness, your speed has to be almost elite, especially at the NFL level. So I mean, we try to explain, to people certain reasons why the running back position shouldn't be, drafted so high. There's teams that, they might have had reasons and legit reasons as to why they did it. And then there's other teams, without having to name any, that, they made these picks and they had so much more weaknesses at other spots that they could have covered. For example, the Cowboys back in 2016, they decided they will draft Ezekiel Elliott with the 4th pick overall. Now, they could have gone Jalen Ramsey and had half of their field shut down defensively, or they could have went Zeke because they felt like they had the offensive line, stable. They felt they had the quarterback position stable, and they felt like they had the defense serviceable enough to win football games. And at that time, it looked justified, especially when Zeke came in. But Dak had to, take over for Tony Romo. Then you have a situation like, I don't know, the Giants. I said I didn't want to mention them, but they had weaknesses all over the football team, yet they decided to pick the best player available, according to them, 2nd overall. And, right now, obviously it's a questionable situation. So the running back position, it's like its own show, Germ. Like we would have to take our own show to kind of explain to people what we mean in terms of, drafting them so early or drafting them later on in the 1st round, 2nd round, because you look at Derrick Henry, like we said, probably the most important, most valuable player to his football team outside of the quarterback position is right now Derrick Henry, hands down. And Mo said it before the season even started, and it's looking even more, like a bigger thing right now with the way he's playing. Of course, again, you need the beef up front to execute what they're executing. But I mean, that dude, just what he brings to the table based on his vision, his size, his strength is incredible.
And it's improved. It's improved drastically too, which is why I brought it up. Go ahead, MJ.
So, I want to talk to my brother Les, since he had asked this question. And I'm kind of, be able to relate basketball and football to the same way. I think I could be the one to do it. So for Les, remember that conversation we had when you had one of your buddies that was in the NBA that played for the Sacramento Kings, and he was able to get some playing time and end up like scoring 37 points or whatever. And, he was, hype. You was hype for your boy, but he was just pretty much like, man, everybody in the league, if they get the opportunity and the amount of touches, anybody could be able to do this because it's just that good. Well, from a scoring standpoint, the running back position in football is like a combo guard in the NBA. If they get the volume, you're going to get numbers. Now, what separates the tiers is the efficiency on how they get the numbers. Some people, if you give them 21 shots, they're going to hit 10 of them. Some, if you get 21 shots, they're going to hit 15 of them and go to the line 8 times. That's what separates the good from the great. The opportunity and the efficiency with the opportunity. What's making Derrick Henry great is he has the efficiency with the yards, but he also has the physical attributes that you just can't account for. Like, hitting this dude hurts you.
Yes.
Yes. Forget the film. I don't know any DB that want to hit this guy. So the second he gets downfield,
right,
that's hurting you. And then also he has breakaway speed to run around you and past you, in addition to running through you. So he may not have the best vision in the NFL, but with the other attributes that he brings to the table, he don't need the best vision. He just need his vision to be good enough to find the hole and do what Derrick Henry does. Now,
he just needs to know.
Go ahead.
He just needs to understand his blocking scheme. If you understand your blocking scheme, that's half the battle right there. Because that's why when we seen last week, we seen that jump cut that he made and I almost had a heart attack. If Derrick Henry is 6'4", 270 pounds, is gonna make a jump cut, get skinny, and then be explosive like that with the pressure step, what do you do? There's nothing you can. There's no way to guard that.
And if I'm not mistaken, that was on a zone. It might have been an outside zone where again he had to read the outside and make a decision if he had to come back in. He did a jump cut on that. And it's the thing is like, so Derrick Henry was the second running back drafted after Ezekiel Elliott. He was in the second round. Ezekiel was first. So again, the Cowboys had their reasons for drafting Zeke. On top of it, like we gotta also understand, Zeke has a lot of special traits too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So in a sense, it was justified. Again, you could have went Jalen. It's such a tough decision to make. They could have went Jalen and Derrick Henry in the second round, right? Just like the Giants could have went Quentin Nelson in the first round and Nick Chubb in the second round in that draft. Like, you know what I mean? So it's tough, but the running back position, even though they need some special traits, it's a position that you can find in later rounds and still execute what you need to execute. Like Jerm brought up Johnson from Cleveland, I'm forgetting his name, first name, Dearness. This is a kid that ran 4.8 in his 40 time. You know what I mean? His agility is not exactly elite level, but then you see him in that game yesterday. He was making cuts, making decisions, with his vision, decisiveness, that was elite enough to get the yardage that he got last week.
You know who he reminds me of? Y'all know who he reminds me of? Funny. He reminds me of Aaron Jones.
And in addition to that, you got to think, culture matters. He get a chance to learn from Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb every day. So in addition to all the stuff that Vic said, the one thing that I will add to the trade of running back, I don't know what the technical term is, but I call it fall forward. I can tell if a running back is going to have his.
It's like a forward. We call it like forward lean or something like that.
It is. Yeah, the technical term is forward lean. They have the ability to just lean forward with balance. Okay, balance is an elite trait you need at the running back position. Yep. So he has that forward lean that if any contact, he's still gonna move forward. You would have to get a solid shot on him to get him backwards because he's already leaning forward. His momentum is forward, and his strength, his center of gravity as well, is very low to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really hard to find scat backs who have that lean forward. I mean, that forward lean. So when you see a guy that, probably 5'9", 5'10", just kind of a normal, typical running back size, the lean forward is what separates him and puts him in that category of a guy that you will want, like a Derrick Henry, not comparing them to Derrick Henry, but that's what you want because the offensive line is not going to always do their job. They're blocking the best in the world. So you got to at least be able to get me back to the line of scrimmage or give me 1 or 2 yards when it doesn't work. Those are the winning plays. Because if you put me in 2nd and 13, the game changes as opposed to me being 2nd and 8.
Yes. They talking about it. Preach about it. We ain't got to be the ones that say it. They know, they understand.
Hey, and then that's the beautiful thing about this. Like I said before we move to the games, because Dearness does 2 things better than Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt so far I've seen. And the first thing is because he's a little smaller, he has the ability to get skinny through the hole, which automatically creates 5 yards every time he touches the ball behind that offensive line moving. And but the other thing he does, and I'm not saying that Nick doesn't do this, but Vic, remember how we talked about always looking to the sideline to set up your defenders?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, he uses his eyes to move people like a quarterback. Mm-hmm. I seen him looking one way and then said, "Well, you knew I wasn't going this way." And I was
that's like, that vision. No. That's that. He's got that wide field of vision.
Peripheral. That man got a peripheral. Hey, that's a cool.
Nah, man, and that's the thing, man. Like, you could find these kids. You know what I mean? You could find them in later rounds. I mean, this is an undrafted dude. You know, he ran 4.8. You know, unfortunately, teams looked at him like, oh man, that's too slow. But then look at the show he puts on, you know?
But that's why I compared him to a 6'3" combo guard in the NBA. Because it's a lot of dudes that's 6'3" that can put buckets up. But comparing Derrick Henry, you'll compare him to like a Giannis with the fadeaway now, with the leg up fadeaway. It's like, oh, you learned that? Yeah. I don't know what we're going to do with this. So, right.
And one more thing that Jerm and I, were discussing before is like, we already knew about the Ernest. All right, Jerm's been talking about the Ernest for a long time. So, we talked about like, why won't they just trade like Kareem or Dearness, try to get some value, and they'll still have two running backs, whichever one. But now Kareem and Nick is hurt. That again, that's the position, man. And if you can have 4 or 5 of them, then
and then they got a dude. And then they got another one that they use in certain. They got a whole package for him, and his last name is Felton. Like they got clear. Like I said, man, that's why I'm not on the Baker thing for no reason, bro. This Cleveland team is the best that you're gonna get in the draft era, and it's just because you've loaded up on so much talent. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, transition from Cleveland, transition from running backs. We're gonna start off, fellas, with the Chiefs and the Titans. MJ, you get to do the honors this week of the over/under and kick us off. Go ahead, bro. Do your thing.
Yes, sir. So with the Kansas City Chiefs, Tennessee Titans, we're looking at an over/under of 57.5. I think that is a nice moderate number, all things considered. I think a lot of points is going to be scored on this game. I would take the over if I was a betting man. This is not a conference style game, so these teams still will have those little small nuances that they're not going to be ready for, even though they've played each other in the playoffs and played each other once a season for the last 3 seasons. So just with all of that being said, I would take the over on this. And if we are going to make picks, give me the Tennessee Titans at home. It's a little bit colder. We just already talked about running backs. So to stay with the theme on running backs, I don't think anybody want to hit Derrick Henry in 40-degree weather. I wouldn't want to hit him in 80-degree weather with a beach behind me. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go Tennessee on this one. But it's going to be a high-scoring game.
All right. Vic?
This one is so tough for me because – people are talking about how Pat is being figured out and this, that, and the other. Yet he's almost top 5 in almost every statistical category. Now I do again got my questions for Pat. You know what I mean? But he's still producing. That offense is still going to be that offense. And it could be a situation where there's still kind of another upswing. They came up off of a super emotional Super Bowl loss last year. Could they be having that Super Bowl loss jinx or whatever they call it? It could be, but I'd expect this team to get back on track. They had a good win last week. As great as that Titans run game is, man, that defense is still suspect. I'm gonna take the Chiefs on this game. I just can't see that defense doing enough, to help that run game.
So the point of this is we got to pat Derrick Henry on the back, because we have to understand that the one thing about this game that's the most important is they got a guy named Tannehill on their team who we don't know what we're gonna get from Sunday to Sunday. We have no idea. Like, we don't have any type of understanding of where he may be. Like, he may be down there with our guy Jay Ham eating barbecue nachos this week, and we don't even know if he's going to show up to the game and be effective. So I think overall, that's the one thing besides the defense that makes this one of the situations harder to pick for the Tennessee Titans. Derrick Henry is so good, though, he makes you want to pick the Tennessee Titans like MJ did. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to pick what I feel is the surest bet to happen today. And there's a thing that could happen today where there's a guy who's going to run downhill, and what he's going to do is he's going to create a whole lot of space and separation and zones and things like that, because Tennessee is going to have to play zones. I think this is a deja vu moment, because I said this last year. And when Tyreek creates a lot of voids and zones, you know what I'm saying? There's going to be a situation at hand where there are going to be guys like Josh Gordon and Nicole Hardman and all these other guys that are going to be able to get intermediate targets. And then they got one of the coldest Caucasian men in football named Travis Kelce, who got a little sauce. So give me the Chiefs today. I'm going to go with a score because I do think the over under is perfect right where it is. I'm gonna say we get 60 points out of these two teams at least. So give me the Chiefs today. Give me 31-29. Chiefs.
Okay. Yeah, so we both
Next
agree.
game. Yeah. I think because you know what's funny? One of the last two games that they played in the regular season ended like 35-32 on a last second field goal, and the field goal got blocked to tie the game when Pat drove him down in 30 seconds. Ironically. So just a little history of some of this stuff. Bengals versus the Ravens. Now, this game is big time, y'all. We're going to spend a little time on this game. I want to spend a little time on it. MJ, please do your work.
All day. So with the Bengals and the Ravens, you got the over under of 46. This is a classic over and under trap game. You got two teams that know each other all too well, going against each other for the first time this season. This is going to pretty much be are you really who you are or are you not who you are type of game. And it's real simple. I wholeheartedly believe from a regular season standpoint, Baltimore is ready. They got who they are. They know who they are. They know what they want to do. It's just going to be what it is going to be. With Cincinnati, I think a lot of movable parts have to happen for them to beat this team. And they could happen. You know, they could happen. Like Jamar Chase having a big game, that's more than humanly possible. You know, Joe Mixon finding the end zone 2 times, that's more than possible. So these are the things that's going to be needed in order for them to win. But as of right now, this team is just rallying around Lamar and they believe in him. So I'm not going to pick against the Ravens. I haven't picked against them yet, and I don't think I'm going to until the playoffs. So give me the Ravens.
Man, listen, I feel you on that. I mean, I've been picking against the Ravens simply because, you know, I feel like there was some sort of regression there with the offensive line. I feel like teams are, you know, even the lesser teams are little by little going to pick up on some of Lamar's actions and the way he likes to do things. But again, I got to give him credit. He's been passing a lot more this season, you know, than running, which is interesting. You know, it looks like he understands the offense more, what he needs to do within the offense, his skill set. You know, will there be teams in the future to shut it down? You know, again, we're waiting for the playoffs to find out, because we know, like Jerm said, this is a regular season football team where you're going to run the ball, and then, you know, execute the pass off of that, and you're going to win a lot of games. The Bengals, you know, Jerm, I saw a little bit of Jonah the other day, and he's looking a lot better blocking for Burrow at left tackle. Obviously, I still think he's a guard, but hey, for now, he's doing his job.
He can't do worse than Isaiah Wynn.
That is true too. You know, so they're running the ball a lot better. And of course, Jamar Chase, I mean, you think that he's going to hit some sort of rookie wall soon. And so far, I mean, he's been unbelievable. The route running, the blocking downfield, we stress that. You know, when he got picked, is that we see a kid that was running downfield with his running backs. Okay, so that's winning football. You know, executing at every level, whether it's short, intermediate, or deep. The kid has been awesome. This is going to be such a fun football game, man. I'm going to pick the Bengals just because I want to, just because I love them, just because I made some decisions on how I see the Ravens, so I got to stick by it in a sense.
No, you don't. Come to the light.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is, man. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, obviously, if the Ravens win this game by a lot. But I'm gonna pick the Bengals to win this game on a tight football game. You know, I don't know, by 3 points, a field goal. I'm just excited to watch this game, man. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna be available to watch it.
So we got you know, Michael Jackson and Tito and them pretty much in a situation where that's kind of Ravens offense has been. It's been all about Mike. Just look over your shoulders, honey. I'll be there. That's what it's been like all year.
So Mark
Lamar,
Andrews did it.
Mark Andrews, maybe Joe Jackson, because he the one who got the belt, just in case Lamar don't throw it in the ball. So if he ain't got that 1-2 step or that 1-2 count, hey, Mark Andrews is gonna be right there on him with the Uncle Sam finger. So what we got here is MJ. But anyway, with all of that being said, the Bengals have two things that should make this game interesting. They have a defense that can make plays. They have guys on the back end that can make plays. But most importantly, they have the right type of guys to be able to do certain things. So for the first thing, the hardest pass rushers to block are the effort guys, because those are the guys that don't stop for 60 minutes. Well, the Bengals got a couple of them. One of them is Sam Hubbard, former Buckeye, Ohio State. The other guy is Trey Hendrickson, who they just signed to that big contract in the offseason. That should be an interesting situation, seeing that in games, I'm seeing Hendrickson being able to get pressure on quarterbacks. So the big thing here is gap integrity, make Lamar have to do that little goofy little hop step that he does when he calls himself trying to get away. Yes, I know his whole rap. So for anybody who say you're a Lamar hater, I know everything he does before he does it. I know when he's going to do something because I've studied this player that much to make sure that my calculations are not incorrect. The things that I want to see today from this Ravens offense. Number one, do not abandon the run. Cincinnati will be a stout running team, especially run defense wise, but you have to continue to run the football against them. Because if you get yourselves in, we said 2nd and 13s are a total different down than 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9, 2nd and 7. We don't need that. Also, Cincinnati has athletes in the middle of their defense. They have smart football players. So this is going to be a test for Lamar to be able to see. This division is going to be tough for Lamar every week he plays in this division. The Ravens will be playing 3 teams that have loaded up with athletes everywhere across the board that are focused on getting to you. They're focused on hitting you. So we're going to see Lamar get hit today. I've already made my decision today. I'm picking the Bengals. 2 reasons why. Athletes, number 1. Number 2, this is the first week we get to play against people with ball skills. So I want to see how that comes to play. I think it's going to be a very good game. I think it'll be no more than 7 points that's the spread here unless somebody doesn't show up. So give me the Bengals today, 27, Ravens 23. That's the magic number against the Baltimore Ravens is 24 points. Next game. We're going to go to the big games first, y'all, because we're going to fly through these other games, and then we may have a little banter at the end. We got the Bears. We got the Bears and the Bucks. MJ, do your work.
All right, so Bears and Bucks, you got the over under 47. I do not trust this over and under at all. I actually will go under only because I think Tampa Bay's defense will be good enough to hold the Bears under 13 points. In addition to that, Tampa Bay's offense will move the ball all across the field, but they will probably find the end zone maybe 3 times. The rest is going to be field goals. So if that happens, you're not going to reach your 47 mark that you need to reach. I am picking Tampa Bay. Nothing against the Bears. Bears, like the Bengals that we just talked about, I just think they just need more seasoning and more time. This is not a microwave game. You got to put that thing in the oven and you got to let it do what it do. But as of right now, it's not ready.
Vic?
Like MJ said, that Bears offense, 13 points. I mean, I'd be shocked if they get, 17 or more. Just the rhythm is off. Shout out to Justin Fields because, you could tell the kid has a lot of heart, a lot of passion, a lot of potential. But it's just not enough rhythm there. They're not blocking well. The receivers are inconsistent. And the good thing they got going for them again, Germ, is like we talked about for a while now, the defense is still special. The defense is getting a lot of pressure on quarterbacks, but this is a Tampa Bay football team that is very balanced, good offensive line. Of course, the quarterback, the receivers are great. And I mean, they should be able to handle this win convincingly. They did let the Eagles get in that game last week. I don't even think the Bucs scored in the second half, but it could have just been one of those things where they just fell asleep. I expect them to come back.
They scored in the third quarter. They didn't score in the fourth.
Oh, they didn't score in the fourth. Okay, so I mean, I expect them to
But I
come
mean, you
back.
got a quarterback that took the ball with 7 minutes to go and said, "Y'all don't get this ball back." That's pretty much what he did.
Yeah. Basically held the game, and I mean, of course, he knows what to do. I mean, this is a simple game for them. Should be. They're coming off a long break, so I think the Bucs should win this by 2 touchdowns.
Easy thing here. The Bucs are right now currently are in a situation where they'll have no AB today. They'll still have majority of their other targets, no Gronk, stuff like that. Fine. Here's the key. Run the ball enough to keep yourself on schedule. Short intermediate passes make those DBs have to tackle and cover in short, tight areas. And there you go. That's the recipe for success today on offense. Defensively, Todd may call one of those blitzes today where we see 8 people and 3 people drop into coverage. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that they're going to pressure Justin Fields from every angle. They're going to really, really make him have to process the game today. So I don't know if the Bears score more than 10 points, to be honest with you. And I'm just going to be honest. Running the football against this team is hard because their defensive ends and their outside linebackers do a hell of a job setting the edge. Setting the edge, ladies and gentlemen, means keeping contained on the quarterbacks and running backs on the outside edge, being able to show and prove. That's what we're going to call it, Vic. Show and prove. I'm going to show you I'm here, and I'm going to prove I can tackle you. Really, that's simple. That's what they do, and they do it well. Shaquille Barrett, JPP, and the young rookie that they have, Joe Tryon, they do an excellent job of doing that. They're just not elite pass rushers. If they had an elite pass rusher to go along with them guys, good night, Wolf. That's what we'll be saying. So with that being said, give me the Bucs today. Give me the Bucs 27-10. I think 27-10 is the perfect score. And again, we said field goal. MJ said some field goals. I don't think there's any way that you're going to just go and score 40 on the Bears defense on any given Sunday. I just don't see it. But if it happens, it happens. And this is the team that could do it. The other game that I circled to talk about, to give a little bit of life to, was the Colts and the 49ers. MJ, do your work.
All day. So with the Colts and 49ers, the over-under on this is 42. I see the Indianapolis Colts getting a much better rhythm with their offense. Jonathan Taylor is finally settling in and starting to get the game slowed down for him, and he's getting back to mid-season form, which is great. With that running game is good. Carson Wentz with a running game, that is dangerous. I know everybody keep forgetting about Carson Wentz because of all the injuries that he battled, but please remember, this dude was a second overall pick for a reason. He will pick your defense apart if things are clicking on all cylinders. On the other end of it, San Francisco's defense is nothing to play with. The problem is, because of injury to George Kittle, that's their safety net in their passing. He makes everything go. That's also the best tight end blocker that they have. They just cannot move the ball the way they need to move the ball. So even though San Francisco is at home, this is the first road game pick that I'm picking. I'm going Colts on this one. And I don't think it's an over or under. It might just be a push. 42 might just be the final score. So I don't know how DraftKings or whoever do when it comes to that. But I think the exact score is going to total 42. If I had to pick, I will pick under if I had to. But I think it's going to be at 42. I think that's right around the number. Jeremy, what you think?
So this game is interesting. Vic, I'm going to let you go last for a reason. When Carson Wentz is ill, it feels like it's an automatic. Like you see the illmatic hat right there. It feels like it's automatic when he's ill. So it's like, I don't know what we're going to see because in this game, the one thing that kept, like, it's like a battle of two different situations. The secondary for the 49ers is really bad. And then the passing game for the Colts can be really good. So those combinations equal fireworks, sparks, all those good things. But then the offensive line for the Colts is really good. And then the defensive line for the 49ers is really good. So we get so many good dynamics there that it's like, and this is a homecoming game for DeForest Buckner.
Yeah. I
Because
incorporate
that's
that.
the one he's coming back. So to go back there, I want him to have I want him to have 5 sacks, 5 tackles, an interception for a touchdown, and a fumble recovery. I want him to do something stupid. I want him to show he was the best damn player they ever drafted on and out that entire defensive line spell that they had. Like, I want him to dominate today.
Jeremy said he might get an interception with the way Trey Lance gets his balls batted down at the line of scrimmage for some crazy reason.
Yeah,
that
it's
dude,
one of those
he must lead the league.
Yeah, and then see, that's another thing that we haven't factored in here yet as well. We don't know really what's going on yet, but it's a lot of things that we have to understand in order for us to get where we need to get. Like, this 49ers defense is really fast and they're really good in the front seven. Fred Warner has surpassed anything I thought he was going to be because he converted from safety to middle linebacker effortlessly. And he's so good in coverage and in all of these tight areas. And he's been sensational. He's been sensational. Give me the Colts though today. Give me the Colts. MJ, it's 2 things that we can't bet against: a quarterback on the rise and figuring things out, and a running game that is so potent that they said, yo, we can get rid of Marlon Mack because Jonathan Taylor is that dude. And we scouted Jonathan Taylor, and we said that's an elite running back with a lot of elite traits.
That's a C.
And there we go. So I'm going with the Colts. Go ahead, Vic.
Yeah, I mean, bro, you look at this, I mean, both sides, you know, in the front, the beef is talented. You know, like you said, the 49ers defensive line, but the Colts defensive line too. The Colts offensive line, but so is the 49ers offensive line as well. So, you know, this is a very good game based on the fact that those front sevens that beef up front is going to challenge each other. Like I said, I mean, Trey Lance, you know, again, he's unfortunately the 49ers are going through their struggles with injuries again. The running backs are hurt. Jimmy, who is my guy, hurt again. Can't stay healthy, so Trey is there. You see some of the talent, but you see some of the reasons why we weren't big fans of him either. So this game, the Colts should be able to win. If the Colts want to show the NFL that they're here with a new quarterback in Carson Wentz, who's playing very well as the season goes along, if they want to show the league that they're a team to be reckoned with as well, they need to be a 49ers team that is not exactly at full strength. So I'm definitely going to take the Colts to go in to San Francisco and take this football game.
And in addition, first and foremost, we got a hidden character that happened to pop his mind in. We can't show his face, but he can at least give us some voiceover on this, and I'm going to get that to him in a minute. But also, as I say that the Colts win, I don't expect like a masterpiece from Wentz either. I expect he's going to get sacked about 4 times, might even throw an interception, but he's going to manage the game enough to be able to make sure that the Colts win. So, Mo, go ahead and talk to the people, man.
What's going on, beautiful people? You know, I can't be there fully at the moment, but I might jump on right before we get off. What's today is like a lot of full circle type games in the NFL, you know, revenge and whatnot. Not this one here in particular, but if y'all can't hear me at any point, just let me know.
No, you're good.
Okay, I'm in the mountains. But I think tonight in this one, I'm actually taking the 49ers. I think when they have Jimmy G playing, a lot of things stay on track. And I do think the Colts are a rising team. I do think the Colts will go on a bit of a hot streak at some point during the winter, you know, Thanksgiving leading into Christmas. But I just still think at some point we're going to be looking at this Colts team like, man, they got to win 5 out of their last 6 to get into the playoffs. And I think they will come through on that end.
Yeah.
But for the night, I mean, I'm not sure what the Colts offensive line report is for the evening. I just think the 49ers are going to be able to keep things on track. I think they're going to create enough pressure, enough havoc behind there. T.Y. Hilton is out again, which isn't that big of a deal, but it is somewhat of a big deal because he is the smartest receiver they have. So I think he's going to be missed greatly tonight. I do think the Colts will still put up enough points. So I'm going 25-23 San Francisco.
And this is coming from a big Carson Wentz fan.
I am. But you gotta respect the lab.
Of course, no doubt.
Lab breeds objectivity. Germ, what's
Amen
next?
to that, brother.
Next game.
Next game. So now we're getting ready to go into a little bit more of a fast-paced offense situation here. We got arrogant Aaron. He is hosting the Washington football team. FC Washington. Yes. Oh. But with that being said, MJ, over-under, please.
The over-under is 47.5. Take the over on Aaron Rodgers, at least for his yardage on Monkey Knife Fights. Go ahead and take that one. Actually, just take the over on all of their offense. They are playing good football, and Washington on defense, even though they have the pieces, is not playing good football. So that equals a recipe for over success. So the actual game in itself, 47.5, it's going to be a little close. I'll still take the over on it. I think Washington can get some garbage points on this Green Bay team. I got Green Bay beating Washington football team pretty convincingly, about 9 points over. What you got, Vic?
Yeah, I mean, the Packers just came from a win against Chicago, which seemed to be more emotional than I think it should have been. Aaron Rodgers was showing out, especially celebrating in front of those fans and talking a lot of garbage to those fans. But hey, that's what arrogant Aaron likes to do. But with all that being said, I mean, that offense is clicking more and more every week. So I mean, I expect them to take this game against Washington. That defense has been very underperforming, very disappointing. The pressure is just not what it used to be.
They stay on the field, Vic.
Too long. Exactly. And they're defending, or they're blocking that defensive line very well. They're making Chase put in a lot of work with doubles, even triples at times with some chips. And everybody else is just not getting home. So I expect the Packers to win this game as well.
It's real simple. The Packers are in a situation where they have the player who actually gets the most yardage in the NFL at the receiver position in Devontae Adams. And then Washington is the team that gives up the most yards on the back end. So you lead the league in big plays with one player, and then they lead the league in big plays as a defense, giving up. Just doesn't sound like a recipe for it. That doesn't mix very well. For those that like it, if this was a mimosa, this would be like 75% orange juice and 25% champagne. It's no good. That's not a good mixture. So it's just is what it is. And listen, at the end of the day, Aaron, if you got a 12 on the back of your jersey, these are the you better specials. You better show up, you better win, and that's what it is. Give me Green Bay 27, this football team 16. Chef, what you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real quick, man. I think you guys touched on every point that we needed to be made for this game. I do think those Alabama boys in the interior for Washington need to step up and kind of alleviate Chase Young a little bit. Give me Green Bay 31-16, and give me Devontae Adams 19 targets, 13 catches, and 135 yards.
Okay.
But disrespect is there.
I think he wanted to say 200. He's just not doing that right now.
Yeah. It's still early. I only had one cup of coffee so far.
So now we got Panthers going to the Giants. The Sam Darnold Bowl. Listen, at the end of the day, I mean, he's still in New York. So, Sam Darnold just can't get a break. He's still back in New York. I don't know if that means it's a win or a loss coming. I don't know. MJ,
I will show my face. You better stop the disrespect.
I'm not worried about that.
All right, so Carolina Panthers, New York Giants. The over and under on this is 43. You have two of the most unpredictable teams playing against each other. stay the hell away from this game in any betting formats. I don't know what the hell is going to happen. The only reason why I am picking this is because I am competing with these three fine gentlemen on over and under and pick'ems, and I have no choice. If I could say tie, I would say tie. But the last time I said tie, it went to overtime, but it wasn't a tie. So that's like picking green on the roulette table. You just don't do it. Even though it might land there, just don't pick it. So if I just had to pick somebody, I'll pick Carolina. I don't like the pick, but I'm going to pick them. And the only reason why I'm going to pick them is for the defense. I like how Chuba Hubbard is playing. It's a next man up type situation, going back to the conversation we had with running backs earlier. You know, all of these guys get paid full scholarship and get 3 meals a day. They're going to be able to produce if given the opportunity. Vic?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things going on with this game. First and foremost, you got Andrew Thomas, who landed on the injured reserve. You know, the Panthers bring in 2 of one of the league's best pass rushers, Brian Burns and Hassan Reddick, who are very underrated, not very talked about. There's 10 sacks between the both of them. And then you got Nate Solder and Matt Pert, who's going to be protecting today, you know, for the Giants. So that's going to be tough. The Panthers are coming from a 3-game losing streak. This is a team that started the season 3-0. We talked about that youth on defense, but they've lost 3 in a row to some really tough teams. At the end of the day, you know, they had an easy schedule to start the season. They had some tough matchups after that, and you know, the Giants are a good team to start back another win streak. You know, let's get on the field here. Let's put some pressure on the quarterback, as you should. Play some sound defense, because this is a very beat up and very disorganized Giants football team. I picked the Panthers to come back and you know, at least Sam Darnold do something right, man. Because 17 for 41 last week. I mean, I don't know what that is. That's some sort of, you know, college Division III type performance, but you know, we'll leave that for another day.
I mean, in this situation,
I'm waiting for that unmute button, but it's still, you know, showing.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we can make this real simple. The giant problem with the Panthers is Sam Darnold. We don't know who he is and who's going to show up. We don't know if Sam Darnold from last week, the week before, going to show up. We don't know if the Jets version of Sam Darnold is going to show up. You don't know if the Panthers' new acquired Sam Darnold is going to show up. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if Sam is going to become another Sam. I don't know. Like it's like with Sam Darnold's performances, they're so high and far between. It's like, where is Waldo? But this one, where is Sam though? So where is Sam though? Like, is he going to show up? Is he going to keep the offense on time? Is he going to do the small things to get them in position to score, get them in a position to make plays? This Giants team, whether we want to say it or not, did beat the Saints. Yeah. If they beat the Saints, was probably one of the more balanced teams in football. The Panthers can't get got too.
That was a healthy Giants football team. They had the left tackle.
I said, I don't like my pick. I don't like it. I just had to.
Oh God, man!
Jerm, they had the left tackle available, which goes back, another point I wanted to bring up. It goes back to our running back discussion. You have Saquon, the first round pick that is hurt. You have Christian McCaffrey, the first round pick that is hurt. You know, so now you got their backups playing, who have been playing well. Chuba Hubbard has been playing well, but you know, this is a very hurt, very injured Giants football team from that Saints game. So I'd be shocked if the Panthers can't pull this off.
I'm close to picking a tie. Give me, man. This is a you better special, because I don't even want to pick these Jake dudes. Give me Carolina, man. Go ahead, Mo.
Hey man, listen. When you're a Jet all the way. But I'm hoping Sam Darnold feels so pretty today. I think this is one of those games, like Vic said, they got to get back on track, and I think this is one of those games where if they don't, then we really gonna have to reevaluate Carolina as a whole, top to bottom. I think this is a game that they should control from start to finish, and that they should win comfortably. Give me Carolina 24-9.
Whew. Next game on the docket, we got the Cocos against the Dolphins. That's the Falcons, for everybody who wants to know, because I don't know. Anything with a bird this year, we may as well go ahead and we may as well go ahead and shoot them down and make chicken out of them because these bird teams ain't been worth a damn all year. MJ, do your work.
All right. So over and under for the Atlanta Falcons Miami Dolphins game is 47.5. I have an eerie feeling that a lot of points is going to be scored, but I'm rooting against this, mainly because I'm going against Tua Tagovailoa against Ty Love this week on my fantasy. But I got Cordell Patterson. And because I got Cordell Patterson, I'm able to start four running backs in my fantasy league. Because in Yahoo, he's running back / wide receiver. Gotta love America. Only MJ could pull off starting 4 running backs when he ain't supposed to. That's just who I am. I'm sorry. I'm good at this. Anywho, go ahead, give me Atlanta only for the reason that I just want Cordell Patterson to act the fool so I can beat Ty. This is my biased pick. So give me Atlanta.
All right. Welcome to Miami. Well, Viva Miami. I'm not picking the Falcons probably for the rest of the year.
That's
I'm
fine.
over it. I hate the Falcons. I don't like their I don't like their quarterback. I don't like their offensive line. I don't like their defensive line. I don't like their coach. I don't like their owner. I don't like their colors. They put a disgrace to the color black. I'm sick of it. I'm over it. Just rebuild the whole team. I don't even want to see it. Take them out of Atlanta. That is the worst sports franchise in the city of Atlanta. And that's supposed to be for, you know what? I was about to go there. Leicester the Leicester Stewart City is putting out a professional football team that is garbage. It's just garbage. It's trash. Stop it. It's an abomination.
So who you taking again? No, I'm joking.
Give me Miami. It's an abomination.
So this is a team, Atlanta, who is getting Calvin Ridley back. He has been out for a few weeks for personal reasons that I am currently not yet aware of what exactly that was, but he is back.
Trauma, Vic. Emotional intelligence.
Wow.
Every time he's open, Matt Ryan looks and throws the ball to a defender. He is traumatized.
Yeah. He probably needed a mental break from that situation.
Mental health Sundays.
You know, it's tough, Jaron, because both these teams, man, they got their own struggles that are significantly, you know, taking them from any type of playoff hopes. You know, Kyle Pitts did have his best performance last week. So we'll see, you know, if that follows through to this week. But Miami, I mean, too many types of issues. They're coming from a London game. Okay, I don't know why they don't have a bye week after a London game, but here we are. So I'm gonna take Atlanta in this game. As bad as they are too, I'm taking Atlanta to win this game slightly. I just think the quarterback situation for Miami is a tragedy. Defensively, they're underperforming as well. And you know, again, coming from a London game where they get no bye, I'm taking the Falcons, and I hate this.
Wait, everybody, stop real quick. Mo, come off mute for a second because you're getting ready to pick. How the hell did the NFL pull that off? They didn't give them a bye, but they gave the terrible Jet. You know what? See that? You don't even get respect.
Yeah, and apparently
Falcons, the abomination of the abomination of the NFL. You got put up against.
This is the 15th to not get a bye week after the London game since they started.
NFL.
Since they started.
You like Jeff Hardy? I need you to Swanton Bond off the top of New York, the highest building you can find in New York City.
They don't care about the players, man.
I mean, to me, Vic, and you could probably speak to this a little more, but when it comes to the human anatomy, to me, when you go play in London a football game, and then you got to travel back and play another game that following week, it's almost like if you play a Monday night game and then you playing on Thursday night.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like your body is just not having the time to recover your body clock, your everything, your physical. It's just, I don't understand how the NFL manage. Like the NFL does a lot of good things with their schedule. The two things I feel like they still haven't perfected is London and the Monday night schedule. The Monday night schedule, if you look at it over the last 5-6 years, we probably had maybe 5 good Monday night football games. So I think they really got to keep working on that. As far as this game is concerned, Jerm singing Bienvenido a Miami must have never heard Welcome to Atlanta where the players play. I'm taking the Falcons in this one. Again, I think Arthur Smith is doing a lot of nice things in Atlanta. I don't think this team is going to compete for the playoffs, be it this year or next year. I do think they have to move on from Matt Ryan 100%. But in the time being, you got to play with what you have. And I think they're doing some good things. I think there is a decent little foundation in their philosophy and the things that they want to do. And I just don't believe in Tua. I don't believe Miami can put up points consistently. So I'm going to go with Atlanta in this game, 25-17.
And also, too, like, this is my second home we're talking about here. Let's give them some slack. Their baseball team is in the World Series. Their basketball team was about 2 games away from being in the finals. They do.
Just told you. No, this is the worst professional team they have, and they're an abomination to the city of Atlanta.
Listen, they got chicken wings, strip clubs, football. Basketball, and
all that's cool.
Can they at least just give them a bye for something? Let them get a
No, I know, because their quarterback is garbage. He's trash.
They gonna draft what next year? Next team, man.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Just because y'all like Arthur as growing up as kid Mo, because you were a kid and grew up liking Arthur, does not mean you have to like Arthur Smith, okay?
Hey, bro, I like Franklin, okay? Give me Franklin.
Oh, you like, hey, he is Franklin.
Yeah, Franklin's my
boy. I like Franklin.
Yo, get him out of here. All right, next
one
game
thing
on the docket.
Hold on,
we got the Jets and we got the Patriots.
Vic,
MJ, do your work.
Look at the Vic. He got to say what he got to say. Go ahead, Vic.
Oh, I don't know if he heard me, but because he's frozen on my screen. No, but one thing I'm sure we're gonna be talking about come draft day is how the Falcons had a chance to draft one of these quarterbacks in the past draft, and they passed on that. Mac Jones and those guys. So we'll see if they'll have somebody to replace him. Go ahead. Next game.
All right. So Jets and Patriots over under is 42.5. I'm taking the under. Zach Wilson will start off 0-2 against Mac Jones. It's going to get emotional, but I think he's going to do way better than he did the last one. You can only do better from what he did the last performance against the Patriots. 4 interceptions is tough, but I think that he throws a few more yards. I even think he finds the end zone 1 or 2 times, but the Patriots still pull it out. Give me the Patriots, but I am hoping that Corey Davis finds the end zone because guess what? Fantasy. All right, Victor, what you got?
Yeah, I'm surprised that they're already getting their second game in already this season. The NFL has usually been scheduling teams, interdivision teams towards the end of the season. But yeah, this is the second game between the Pats and the Jets. Like MJ said, you had 4 interceptions on Zach Wilson. We still like Zach Wilson's potential. But of course, he was put in a very tough situation with the Jets. They have no backup quarterbacks. They have nobody that at least could have taken some games as Zach Wilson, learned. But hey, we're here now. He's learning the hard way, but it looks like he's handling the job. MJ, it looks like he's still got the passion. It looks like he still can throw the football very well. He's comfortable somewhat in the pocket, as far as I can see. So, like you said, I expect a better game out of him today. I expect a more competitive game, from these two teams. I think that New England, despite, again, we really like Mac Jones and what he's been doing, but I think that New England is still in regression. So I think that this should be a very competitive game, and I'm actually going to pick the Jets to win this game, against the Patriots, which is, again, I hate this pick. But I just, I can see the Jets, little by little getting better, and having a chance to beat this New England team that is kind of on a downslope to me. Go ahead, Mo.
Mo, listen, respecting you since you've gotten on here, man. Speaking,
I see that. Listen, here's my thing about it, right? In terms of Zach Wilson, I'll start there. Even just because you drive an F-150, don't mean you could drive a big truck, And I think the thing with Zach Wilson, for those of you who don't know this, you can't go out and just buy a CDL. You gotta go through the training. You gotta get taught. You gotta go through courses. Zach Wilson right now is in the NFL with no training. He's got no quarterback guidance whatsoever. He's got no backup veteran like most rookie quarterbacks have had in the past, including Tom Brady, including Peyton Manning, including Drew Brees. I mean, including Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you name them. They've all had some sort of guidance about somebody who understands what you need to play this position at this level. He's surrounded by defensive coaches, and that's pretty much it. There's really nobody on that staff who's teaching him how to play football at this level. And so for that, no matter what Zach Wilson does this year, we will not count it against him. Anything positive he does, we will give him credit. Anything negative, we will count it as growing pains. And the one team that Bill Belichick will forever beat, with or without Tom Brady, is the New York Football Jets. And I think it's going to be another lesson today for the young quarterback in what not to do against a professional defense. It's going to be, to me, it's going to be very much an encore performance of what happened a couple weeks ago. He might find the end zone once or twice, but I expect another 3-4 interception game for the Patriots defense. I'm serious. I think Mac Jones is going to continue to forever grow, and I'm expecting. I don't know. I'll go 24-3 Patriots.
I got you, man. Listen. These two, again, the potential these two have is incredible. So I can see that happening again. I mean, he's probably going to get at least one. I mean, because that's what he's been doing every game so far. But Zach Wilson just looks like the type of kid that he's going to take his risk. He just needs to learn when it's time to take those risks. He can learn some things from Mac Jones. Mac Jones is very calculated when he takes his risk, and he showed that against the Cowboys with that deep ball at the end of the game. But we'll let Jerm get back in here in a few minutes. I think we have 3 more games to cover, if I'm not mistaken. MJ, we got 7 minutes left. We got Philadelphia against Las Vegas. Talk about it, brother.
Oh, no problem. Over and under is 48.5 everywhere except for DraftKings, who got it at 49. I really don't know who to pick on this team. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles are starting to gain a little bit of confidence in Jalen Hurts. I think they're starting to get a rhythm. I think Las Vegas is playing football and getting back to the love of it, and it's just kind of just like carefree football, which those teams are always dangerous to play. This is a game I do not want to pick, and this is a game I do not recommend you guys betting on. But I'm going to go ahead and go with the home team. When in doubt, go with the home team. I'll say the Las Vegas Raiders pull this off in a very close game, but I'm still going to under.
Yeah, I mean, listening to a little bit of the discussion this past week, of course, the Raiders have gone through that emotional roller coaster with the John Gruden situation, and they came out and they won their game last week, a very emotional win. But I heard Josh Jacobs just talk about feeling more free, and I'm paraphrasing here. Of course, I don't have the quotes necessarily in front of me, but he said that he just looked around, on the sidelines and saw people more free, saw people cheering each other up from the offense to the defense. He said that they didn't feel tense, So hey, that's some serious things to say about, after a coach getting fired. Let's just say he didn't direct anything to anybody, but I mean, we can take those words and we know exactly what he means. So this should be a fun game as well, though. Philly does have some of his issues, but Jalen Hurts, man, shout out to him, because despite some of his limitations, the kid is definitely a baller. I'm impressed with some of his sideline throws. It seems like he's more accurate to the sidelines than he is in the middle of the field, which is something you rarely see from that position. Quarterbacks are just a lot more comfortable throwing within, the numbers as opposed to outside numbers. But hey, the kid is doing his thing. If he can get better in between, you might have a better quarterback situation. So we'll see. But I'm taking Las Vegas for the same reason MJ said. I just think at home and coming on from this emotional roller coaster and feeling more open, I think Las Vegas can win this game against the Eagles.
Give me the Raiders for all the reasons why you just said. shouts out to my internet provider who days is getting ready to be numbered, and that's all I'm gonna say. I have never created that should never happen in these situations. So with that being said, give me the Raiders for all the reasons why you guys already discussed. To be honest, man, the Raiders are in a situation where they have to take care of business because, as we know, they're going to close with a tougher schedule. It is what it is. I'm picking the Raiders today. Philly, you're a year away from being a year away. It just is what it is. Next game on the docket.
Mo, who you got?
Oh, I mean, listen, I saw the Raiders play and I said, damn, Playboy, where the Hummer at? But the problem is Nick Sirianni is the type of guy that's going to show up to a gunfight with a knife because he don't want to run the damn ball, Bert. I'm going with the Raiders. I still think this team is going to crumble when we get into the wintertime, but I'm going with the Raiders to win this game. I don't mean to keep picking against the Eagles every week because I actually like what Jalen Hurts has been doing. Shout out to the First Lady. We showing up to the family reunion, but I'm going with the Raiders today.
All right, quick rapid fire. We're gonna get 2-for-1 special because y'all already know, that Swisher House team versus the Cardinals. I think we could all agree who's gonna win that one. The over and under doesn't even matter at this point. Just pick the Cardinals to win and go about your day. So let's go ahead and move on to the reunion, though, of the trade that happened between Detroit Lions and Los Angeles Rams. They literally just swapped quarterbacks, and from what we're seeing, we're actually seeing that franchises do matter. So saying all that to say the over and under is 50.5. It's 51 for DraftKings. I do not know why they always go up a half a point, but that's their business, not mine. I am going to obviously go with the Rams. I hope that they get over because I got DeAndre Swift playing, but I don't think they're going over. I think this is going to be an under game, but give me the Rams against the Lions.
Rams. Everybody's gonna pick the Rams. Ain't nobody picking the Lions. Matt Stafford, if you lose to the godforsaken Lions, I don't want to hear it. Listen, back to this Atlanta thing real quick, though. No, absolutely not. I would not like Atlanta football team.
I never said you
The only football team that gets respect out of Atlanta is the Georgia Bulldogs. That's it. I'm sick of Matt Ryan. I'm over it. The red zone is not his friend. It just is what it is. You know what's funny? He looks like a guy that will run from the red zone. That's a red flag.
You know what? The funniest thing is you come off of internet issues and go back 6 games back to continue to talk about this.
Yeah.
Like that's different. So with that, it's almost 12 o'clock. We left y'all 30 seconds to spare. Go ahead and make your nachos, get your wings, buckle up for some good football. Hopefully our picks is as good as they have been over the last few weeks. If they're not, chalk it up to AGS. With that being said, you got Germ, who can't stand the Falcons. You got Vic, who just want to see everybody win. You have Mo in the mountains. And you got MJ, who's just trying to get this money. So 1-800-MONEYLINE-MJ. Make sure y'all dial that number. And it's going to go into an operator. Anywho, you've pulled up to the scene. Thank you for pulling up. We'll see you next week or even tomorrow.
22. Enjoy the games. Make sure y'all check out all of the great shows that we got coming up this week. I ain't gonna tell y'all when. Y'all just be tuned. Keep an eye out for the promos. 22, we out. See y'all next week.